Calvin Jones here, Park Tool Company, letting you know I survived the long, hard Minnesota winter. Spring is finally here. Yeah, time to get these heavy babies off and get on my little tennis shoes, my skinnies. These are tubulars. And if your tubulars have sat all winter like these have, do a bonding test. Grab the tire and you roll it back, feeling and listening for any cracking or popping. These are tight, properly glued, ready for the road. But there's also the off-road. I want to see how my cross-country bike is. Back here, holding there, I'm doing okay. Truman, how we doing up front?
Front tire, feeling like there's some pressure to be desired
When
in
I
there.
hung the thing up, it was good to go. It's not a thorn, unbonded bead.
Yep, so we're gonna have to pull it apart, analyze what's going on, put some fresh sealant in, and take it and put it back on and get Calvin back on the road.
That's right, let's do it. Let's get this tire out of the way and have a look inside.
All right, let's take a peek here, Calvin.
Very nice. Before we go any further, of course, we can see a little bit here. Oh, what is this stuff here? Hey, wait a minute. I know there was sealant in here last year.
Looks like a little sealant desert.
It is all around the tire. You can see here, maybe the tire lever bumped into that. It's got all coated. There's nothing in here. It's completely dry.
Completely dry. This was probably where there was a pool of sealant, but you can see there's no sealant left.
An ephemeral pond of sealant and dispersed and is gone. So tire's in good enough shape. Probably just throw it back on.
I don't think we should, Calvin. I think we need to at least clean the bead area.
Right, so we're looking at all the crud here. This can bump up against the rim, cause a little space. That's gonna slow down our sealing.
It's gonna slow down the sealing and also just take up more sealant right away. So you're gonna be left with less sealant in the long run.
That's right. So let's start wiping that out. I am gonna have a look also in here. Clean out whatever's going on inside. Oh yeah, let's get some of this out of the way. So if there's any crud in here, we want to come along in here and get it cleaned out. Right along the bead of the tire, this is the crud that we're worried about. Stuff on the inside, that's not going to cause a problem. But this is what we're worried about. Right, Truman?
That's exactly right, Calvin. Trying to get all this stuff off of here so we can have a nice, clean, solid bead area.
Crud, we have a gap. Boy, I can just see some sealant shooting right out of here.
Yeah, and then you won't have as much sealant to seal up the real holes.
No, eventually it may seal itself up, but what a headache. So it does take a little time. We've got all the crud off that we could get. It's looking pretty good. Yep, we're gonna sweep up that later.
Doesn't need to be perfect, but you know, clean a little bit here and there.
A lot better.
It'll be fine.
And the inside again, not worried.
No.
Let's go.
All right, so I checked the direction on this one and we're rotating in this direction. So we're gonna go right on here. I'm gonna put the label right by the valve. So if we have any issues, we can locate them later. I'll start with that first bead by the valve, go around, push on the tire. And it's best to try and get everything on with your fingers. All right.
So let's do most of it. We're gonna leave a pocket open and pour in some deliciousness. So, we have our pocket here. Now be careful, he's gonna hold it up. We can also hang that on a stand. We got about 2 ounces here, shook very well, not stirred. In we go. And now, I like to do is kind of rotate this. See, that's gonna, let us work at the top. Give me a little hold action there, sir. Yeah. So our fluid is no longer up here and spilling. We think the fluid's more or less down at the bottom.
I think gravity's working with us on this one.
Yeah. We're gonna add in some air. Let's do it.
All right. You want the Minnesota stuff?
Minnesota, come on up. That's what we got. Oh yeah.
Oh, keep going a little bit more.
30.
She's seated now.
Overinflating.
A little bit.
Down
usually.
for a little bit. We're gonna see if that bead looks really nice here. It looks nice here.
Do the stand dance.
Over to you.
I'm a shaker. You can listen, you gotta do the listen.
That's right. One of the best ways to get that coated all around, what do we like to do?
Ride.
Go ride. It's bouncing, it's moving, it's spinning, so riding's good.
You can hear the sealant sloshing around, which is
That's
good.
right. So it's seated. Probably need to bleed it down a little bit before we send it out, but we're ready. This one's ready to go.
Yeah, and another thing to notice with these tubeless is, you notice this ring that's all the way around the tire?
A bead seat line should be even all the way around. It's not gonna blow up. It's not dipping down.
It's not gonna blow off. Yeah, it's gonna work great.
Okay, so if the front was completely dry, probably the back one's got lots of fluid, don't you think? No, the back one's probably completely dry. Even though it held the air, I could go right it, but any kind of puncture or a burp, I'm in trouble.
So those of you who went out to their bike in the spring and the tires are holding air, it's still a good idea to get after that sealant and make sure that there's still sealant in there.
Do we have to take the tires all the way off though?
Hot tip coming up, Calvin.
All right, let's do it. So what we got here, we got the tire, it's already on, the bead's good, holding air, so don't want to really mess with that too much. I'm going to pull the valve core here off.
And when you pull your valve cores out, you're gonna have sealant coming out and stuff, but valve cores can get gummed up with sealant. So something that you're really gonna wanna look out for is that they move freely. Once you have it out, if you hold it upside by the little nut and you lift up on the body, if it doesn't flick back, it might be time to get a new one. They're fairly inexpensive and they're easy to find.
That's right, it's just a good idea now and again. Throw a new one once a year, not a bad idea. So we can't see inside here, but we want to use a little trick, use it on cars. It's called dipstick. We have a hole, goes to the bottom.
Yep. So we're gonna use this little guy. So these zip ties, you know, they've got little notches so that when you use them, this little gadget, little tooth grabs it. Those will also grab sealant. So we're gonna
show them on the big one so they can see it easier.
All right, so we're gonna dip into this bit of sealant. So on the end of these zip ties, you'll notice there's a space without any notches. We're gonna cut that section off.
Doesn't hold any sealant, makes it harder to see. So now, let's just see a test. This is kind of what you'd want to see.
And this is about 2 ounces of sealant in here. So see how that holds all that sealant on there?
Yep.
And that's about the correct amount, which is about 1 centimeter.
Yeah. Luckily, those zip ties, it's about 1 millimeter per line. Kind of fun.
So if you want to count them, go for it.
Yeah. So this one requires a small zip tie. We're going to cut it square. So we're down at the bottom here. If there's any fluid here, let's see what's in here.
It sounds to be dry.
Oh, not even a mil. Oh.
I can't believe it. There is still some sealant in there.
Yeah, but there's nothing. That's probably just some mush at the bottom.
That is not enough.
Well, don't need to get the tire levers out. We're just going to go straight through the valve core. So we have some right here, 2 ounces.
Perfect. That's the perfect amount.
Shake, 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 all that goodness. And he rolls it up a little bit. That's good.
I like to roll it away because at the bottom, if you put an excessive amount in, it can pour out of there, or if you're at the bottom and you have the bike on the ground, this will be compressed and it'll shoot the sealant all over you. So elevate it up a little bit.
Trying to leave the bead alone. The contactor bead was fine, so here we go here.
But same with, you don't want it all the way on the bottom, you don't want it all the way at the top.
Okay. Fluid's all in. Time for the valve core. And we snug it down.
All right, you're all tight?
Got the core in, got the sealant in.
We need some,
Dial up me some, say, 78% nitrogen. Got that, maybe 20% oxygen, a little bit of argon, and a teeny bit of CO2.
a little secret sauce in there too.
Oh, from Minnesota. Oh yeah, here we go. So, little bit of overinflation, make sure things are seated. Ooh, that poppy sound we like, as long as it doesn't go. 40. And the bead line looks good here, looking good here. Nice. Didn't have to pull it off, didn't have to take it out of the bike. It is ready to go.
Perfect. Well, now we can just go ride, right?
Let's go ride right now.
Trails are closed.
Trails are wet, stay off. It'll be a little bit, but I got my road bike.
Yep.
Well, that's what we have for you, and
we'll see you next time
on Tech Tuesday.
Oops.
That was good. That's good. He rolled right into it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. You can find hundreds more videos like this one on our channel here on YouTube. And we're constantly working on more. So be sure to subscribe for the latest content for Park Tool. And check out our website, which has even more content to help you make your bike better.